are live here at Old City Hall with the Morris perpetrator. Sir, do you have anything to say about this matter?
Yeah. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice.
Yep. Sir, what do you have to say?
I just want to put it on the record. I'm not right.
Yeah, what he said.
Moore's life matters.
More lives matter. It seems like black lives don't matter. More lives matter. Shot in the back, running or choked out to death on the corners. Mistakes his taser for his sidearm, says the coroner. To the yellow journalist that won awards for writing facts for World Wide Web press stories, always calling them black. Civil rights violated. Here comes C1-7 and CIA and FBI agent, brethren, felons with what Big Brother once heard. Most Moors are nerds and study more than if I'm on the road, no biting curbs. Prophets of nooses or fighting for survival. Making Moors martyrs won't happen, calling us captain rival. Inquisitionists, governors, and secretaries of state got stateless on their tables like ribeye steak with no care, blood dripping. They eat blacks rare. Foreigners wearing 6-point badges, pretending they're heirs to the vastness of state Muguri Balaksa. Stateless blood flow past a horse's brow, I swear it's agua. Demons thirst quench, stealing pioneers and organs. Psychiatry, death industry, to start selling black orphans and half-closed coffins, cause legs are missing, killing stateless people, cancer won't even see remission. More lives matter, but it seems like black lives don't matter. More lives matter, cause it seems like black lives don't matter. More lives matter, cause it seems like black lives don't matter. More lives matter, cause it seems like black lives don't matter.
System, what system? Not gonna make myself no victim. Run down and kick them up, educate oneself and flip them. All of the titles or nationality strips them. Must grip reality in order to really grip them in this third dimensional illusion. Organized chaos, confusion, stealing your attention. Mental intrusion, universal laws, declaration of the ancients. I self-law and master from the rooftops to the basements. Hoop deep to the spaceship, ever since all creations. Celestial foundations, ocean floor to the ranges, to the mountain tip, to the cosmic infinite. Basically, we are way above the shit. In other words, get in tune with spirit. Take a breath and accept. Mental polarity, gender rhythm, correspondence, vibration, cause and effect.
More lives matter, but it seems like black lives don't matter. More lives matter, cause it seems like black lives don't matter. More lives matter, cause it seems like black lives don't matter. More lives matter, cause it seems like black lives don't matter.
More lives matter, cause I sing it no sound off. It gets defected when rejected, looking ass off. Get my perspective on the record to a replay. All the news that on replay until they want to cast off. Bury them, on to the next one. Enough of them are gunning down. Youths them a cast cross. Can't believe I told you that. Can't believe a Taj pass. Trayvon, Michael Brown died for us to find cause. The afterlife visited the class prom. Who they really want to see with the crown on high and the garbs on free? I am free and you're no business but your land or your country to seek your inalienable rights. The insatiable delight of knowing thyself and bringing all injustice to light. But the fight is your plight, make your sight for the bright. I'm the mic in the night, foresight for you to realize that, huh?
More lives matter, cause it seems like black lives don't matter. More lives matter, cause it seems like black lives don't matter. More lives matter, cause it seems like black lives don't matter. More lives matter, cause it seems like black lives don't matter.
Hey Tech Leads, this is Monday Dev, a platform to manage your entire product development lifecycle and connect everyone you work with. With Monday,
So I want to get you in. What? I'm rocking. Who says we ain't in the building? Who says we ain't into building?
We the Moorish master masons, architects for your children. Rapping Friday 13th like Jason without the killing. But we promote life, oh, it's all about the feeling. And we invoke light, yo, we them light beings. Though you might see him on the block getting his portion. Might be talking to cops, giving them caution. Occasionally wearing his fez when he's walking. See the turning heads, whispering, gawking. But he's locked in, and he's zoned out. While we boxed in our own house.
We study the mystics, the adepts, the magi. Wisdom of the ancients can uncalcify us. Possible mission, free mental numbness. Extract the substance with minds of dumbness. Use the source, don't care what some purport. As we know by being told, man knows not. Many before the floor, souls got bought. Placed in the devil's hands, ruling the seven lands. To dogma rituals, Negro spirituals. Brainwash subliminal, keeps thinking to a minimal. They're still criminal, in a world digital so pitiful. Mental survival so critical, it's visible. Can you see past righteous blocks? Hashtag zombies with waves of cyber thoughts. No need for cell phones, they speak through saw palms. It's nothing for alarm, trips and forearms.
Wind, brass and bass, such a beautiful serenade. Women feeding me grapes, I'm feeding the new serenades. Whether the sky is clear or gray, rain when you hear a fake, giving life to seed. Speaking through who not here today. Show you the future in a glimpse. And always look to these holes like hallucinatory pimps. Sun walked the desert, been more of a since I found God. Look back, used to see his prince. Forget being a prince, I'm a G. OD, grown man, no Jody. Deny it, you don't know me. Don't make me tap into the old me. That's like a couple hundred years. Walk around town with a couple hundred peers and release the peace of her fears. The sun gon' shine, so what tears? This young brother here just trying to get his third eye clear.
Ish, deep, Moors don't sleep. Invest in your mind and body and unleash. Real life rap, spitting over tracks. Conscious thinking and living a dead attack. Ish, deep. Moors don't sleep. Invest in your mind and body and unleash. Real life rap, spitting over tracks. Conscious thinking and living a dead attack.
So as the moon sets, the sun takes its place. It spoons on blocks, inspired spots, filled spaces. Peel back, rats, who got cases. Fire stain the corridors with flammable faces. Game changers, rule benders and no pretenders. Style lenders, channel my vibe through the vibrant optic lenses. Send a message to our veterans. Soldiers up and get it in. We on our verge. We are merged subliminal beings, third eye seeing, still I participate unwilling.
They wanna break me, shake, bake, grade me, rolling with my name G, double O-M-B, S-O-N is crazy. For a minute that you think you could take me for a fool like a native to his land, being schooled by a foreign dude. You've mistaken me, spiders on the roof, in the dark rooms, have you saying you've mistaken me? You better move or I'll mark it, power pin is my tongue, your existence to target, revealing all lies and deceit on the market. Genocide, carry out in pockets, I knock it down, bulldozer. David to Goliath, it's an exposure. Some big cats ruling and it's getting closer to your downfall. Round up all your soldiers.
Little homie, I was seeking a fortune, tired of misfortune. I just wanted a portion, everything that I never had, though I needed my portion. Blowing like porcelain, haters better than porcelain. Getting broke, tired of being broke. How we acquire hope is a DJ skill as a dope, just to keep us afloat. Mind as deep as the boat, brain is a lethal weapon. We want it to elope, and I speak up a boat. Walk in the room with my aura feeling like heavy smoke. Feel like when the levee broke under my Louis Vuitton to semi-poke. Cause dirty cops are killing, boy, yeah, the joke. The cost of living, higher profits in private prison. These little girls are selling bodies just to pay tuition. These little niggas selling niggas just for bail condition. It's like the slavery never ended with the intermission. I wanna free the world, but I'm one man. A couple ones like me and me one plan. I wanna free the world, but I'm one man. A couple ones like me and one plan.
Raka! No star. That way. And what starts that way? Been in the news. Read off, we pay every day. Okay. Uplift the fee cause we all base. We enforce the law and we obey. Forefathers from before is still today. Reading my Quran and my Torah. Universal laws in more ways. Read 4 chapters, receive it 4 ways. Great divine love rules our verse. Before I circle blocks, man, I circle 7s first. You bust the image, but your rhymes hurt. You clear 13 disrespected earth. Love, but it's all in God's plan. Today's mathematics don't judge a man. Unity of life, embodiment of truth. I'm responsible for every deed cause I seen the proof. No, but Drew X, do I have to draw it out for you? Cause nationality is not a color I can use. Jerry Spruce, standing on my square, even without shoes. On the highest authority, spirit of blue. Marcus Garvey, whirlwind times 2. The world's in the wind when the trumpet blew.
Stand up, go into your bathroom. If you got a big floor to ceiling, cut the light on and stand and take a good hard look at yourself. You are the Moorish government, you know, and it took me a long time to get to understand that concept. I self-law am master. If I can govern myself, if I can govern my household, that's what I should be doing. Why should I walk out of my door and then leave everything that I know about myself in the house to go out and adopt something that I have no knowledge thereof? It makes no sense. So we need to stop asking that question. I ask myself this question: if not me, then who?
Death and wisdom, my friends, intelligent creatures, guardians of sacred knowledge, Olmec features, secrets of the afterlife, manifest the present day. Dirty mortals and scoundrels lose their heads in a pleasant way. Deceit and deception, negative past thoughts, keeps awareness on point. Spirit messages never off. Inner realizations, encounter the higher selves. Next plane existence explains my consistence. Without a foe, you never know, so path most resistant. Divinity, my twin flame, side chick and mistress, metaphysic, kabbalistic, almaronistic, patriarch, papistics, make my thoughts sadistic, so indigenous, call me Americanistic, invoking the ancestors, Saracen cryptic, suns on rotation, flows ecliptic, shatter all illusions, reveal the realistic, sitting in the dark, holding the light marvelous, recognize the artifice, skin so carbonous, hair so antenna, I feel them from Vienna, myriad of virtues, lessons, and reptilian henna. Enlightenment seekers won't find it in mainstream. Focus as a laser, stay balanced like a beam. Not even a gymnast. Whenever I flip this, as above, so below. Get out when within this. Don't think I'm a slave, cause I speak in English. Drew, I'll leave the water, watch your flames get extinguished. Living in your higher, lower self is relinquished. Reputation of master teachers, call it distinguished.
Islam Wars. Here we are again. Sorry about last week, but we figured it'll be better this week. We figured it'll be better this week than last week. So excuse last week, but we're here. Sons of Allah. Every third Thursday though. Except today.
Right. You know what I mean? It's the rare aberrations, but everything happened how it's supposed to, more. You know what I mean? And again, shout out to you, Yusuf, Sharif, everybody in the chat as well. But yeah, you know, it was crazy. It was something you said in the track, it slipped my mind, but I had to ask you because I know you just, you know, you in your travels or whatnot. And I was actually speaking with my brother earlier today, and he was talking about taking flights and actually seeing like certain crop circles. And I remember the last build, I was talking about how I seen a pyramid on the Amtrak train ride going down south. I just got to ask you this off top. In your travels, did you see anything from the bird's eye view that was like, hold on, what's that there, man? That might be something. Or was it, how was your travels, fam?
The travel, well, other than from the airport to here, I was sleeping.
All right, say that. I get it. Word. Yeah.
But since we got here, it's been one thing that always is gonna stick with me. I was telling Brother Yusuf. One of the things that I do everywhere is check the sky, check the blue, because the Colorado blue was so crazy that I check everywhere that I go to see, and it's not the same. You know? Something's up.
Okay.
You know,
Now,
but other than that, no, there wasn't anything. There wasn't anything really, because this is trip 2 too. So, you know, this is the second round.
Got you.
So it's like a return home. It's like a return home. You know what I mean? You know, but we'll see what tomorrow brings.
yeah. One day at a time, one moment at a time. Hey,
see what tomorrow brings.
Now, I just want to put this out there because you did mention about the specific color of the Colorado blue sky. And since the last Sons of Allah, there's been a lot of natural happening, right? Like, and that's what we was talking about the last one, about nature.
Yeah.
But it's been a lot of natural stuff happening. And so, you know, for anybody that's tapped in, just for the record, like, if you got to see the eclipse that just happened April 8th, just put a 1 or 7 in the chat, whatever, right? A 1 or a 7, right? Because that was crazy. As you mentioned that, I didn't talk about the experience at all. So I just want to share this while we on Sons of Allah, because I was in the path where I think we got to see 90% of the eclipse. So it didn't get pitch nighttime, like dark, but you could tell that the sun, if it felt like a cloudy day for a minute, right? And the temperature dropped a little bit as well. But I looked at that eclipse, bro, and I didn't have I didn't have the glasses they were saying you should have on and all of this. I didn't have any of that, right?
What are you doing? You're supposed to have the glasses, bro.
Nah, listen, let me tell you, bro. Listen, this is wild, bro. I'm so thankful we here right now.
Are you all right?
I'm good, but let me tell you what happened. This is what happened, bro. I'm not going cap to y'all. I wasn't totally colorblind. I just was, everything that was white, I was seeing is yellow for about 15 minutes after looking at it. And I researched why that was. And it was like, well, if you look at the eclipse with no glasses and then you look at anything white, and then when they said that, I'm like, oh, okay, this is what was happening. There's like, if you look at anything white after looking at the eclipse for a minute without the glasses, what happens is you'll start seeing the atmosphere on the earth, but it has to be a white background. So as I'm seeing all this yellow, what I really was seeing was the atmosphere on the planet Earth. So it ain't like I didn't go blind because of it. I was just really, and it, yo, hold up. This is wild because I'm thinking about it now as we building on it. Again, let's remove it from people. But when Noble Drew Ali was saying white means purity, and I'm telling you, everything I looked at white was yellow. And they said that's because you're seeing the atmosphere. I never seen it in that light. Like, so it was a white car and it was a couple in there. They was watching the eclipse. And then I looked at a piece of paper, anything white, and it was yellow. So I'm just saying that part is real in a sense, but I don't think it's a bad thing. You know what I mean? I guess it depends on each individual. But yeah, bro. So I had to bring that up because the eclipse happened between now and the last Sons of Allah we did, and you was mentioning the specific, the blue sky. Like for some reason, when you was in Colorado, it was something special to you. And I'm saying that after looking at the eclipse and seeing the quote unquote atmosphere on Earth, that was dope for me, bro. I understand. You feel me?
Yeah. Islam. I remember because I remember the day it was cloudy all day. like school was shut down. They didn't want the children outside and all this, so but it was cloudy all day. And I remember the pitch black. I remember the darkness. That's what it reminded me of too, the Pitch Black movie, the Vin Diesel. Because it was probably, I don't know, 4 seconds or something. It looked like a rainy day, and then all of a sudden it just went black. I was like, oh snap, I guess that's it happening right now, you know, and then in a blink it was gone. But it was something interesting to experience. You know, it was something interesting to experience. Like just, you know, just like you're saying, these happenings that happen and we witnessing certain things, you know, being able to have the experience of certain things, you know, whether it's celestial things, whether it's some, you know, man-made, whatever.
Right.
But it's in divine order. It's in divine order. You know, we're seeing it for a reason.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. That was amazing. And look, I had to squint to really see it from a certain angle. But like a couple of minutes later, it was very clear that it was something blocking the sun. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, bro, like it was really dope. I haven't seen it in my life until April 8th. So that happened. A lot of natural things, you know, earthquakes, the whole everything been happening. But yeah, man, I think that that's important for whatever that was. I guess every individual, that eclipse meant something personal to them or whatever they did, or maybe it didn't mean nothing to anybody, or excuse me, to everybody. But for those who know, like that was this is a divine timing for sure, you know. And so yeah, man, that aspect, earthquake we had. So I know we was chopping it on different things before we started, but I just wanted to throw that out there. You know, as we come back from the last one we were talking about as well, with the natural aspect, that's always a real thing. You know what I mean? That they have no control over. So, yeah, more is divine and national movements. You know,
Islam. Something that's been floating around. I wanted to get your perspective on too. Is the Moorish nationality and the religion, and is this religious? Is this about Moors having a religion? When we talk about us being Moors, is and what, and when you're if you're saying yes, there is a religious aspect to it. What do you mean by religion? If this is supposed to be looked at from a religion perspective.
well, religion is the law of nature, right? That's really what it is. Like not whatever belief system you subscribe to, right? So like, you know what, the general populace or the general public has been taught to believe is that, you know, believing in Jesus is a religion, believing in Muhammad, believing in Buddha, right? Like, but we're to honor all of these prophets that these stories are, you know, based upon. But when you really look at it, all of those so-called holy books are based in the law of nature. It's cosmology, you know what I mean? So is it a divine and national movement? Absolutely. Is religion a part of it? Yeah, but it doesn't more so matter. Your religion will never determine your nationality. Let me just say that. Like, these are component parts of civilized life, right? Like, you know what I mean? They're not, it's not just about that, because again, if we was to just use Noble Drew Ali as the measuring stick of this conversation about religion, you know what I mean? Like your religion really doesn't determine your nationality. Like you could be a Buddhist, you could be into Confucianism, you could be into Islam, you could be into the church, whatever. But all of those things have nothing to do with your bloodline nationality. So you know what I mean? It's good to know about those things, but those things don't necessarily make you who you are. And so that's where the distinguishment comes in about nationality, right? Yes, every nation has their divinity systems and whatnot, but yeah, it's not like you have to say you have to be a religious member to be a Moor. Like that's who you are as far as nationality is concerned, regardless of to what you believe in, you know? So yeah. Now, again, Noble Drew Ali was speaking about Islamism, right? And he did mention certain aspects of the Quran. He did mention Buddhism. He did mention Yeshua, Confucius. He was on all of that. And that's why I say, like, if we use him as the measuring stick, what your religion is really isn't, it's not that it's not important, but it has nothing to do with the concept of what your nationality is. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
Islam.
Yeah,
because the idea that certain more science temples are presenting is that well, because Noble Drew Ali mentioned Muhammad, or the more science temple gets its authority from the great Quran of Muhammad, then Moors are religion.
Right. Yeah. Nah. But again, he did say that it started as a civic organization, but because the work was largely religious, they went to the religious aspect. And so it's not that it doesn't have a part, but you don't have to go to any building to have a religion. Like you don't have to go to the church to believe in God. I'm not saying don't. I'm not discouraging anybody from what they personally do. I'm saying you don't have to have a relation with God or be religious or spiritual. There's some people who are overzealous with their religion, and it comes off like, it brings a lot of questions, because when somebody is overzealous in any religion, you know what I mean? Like it's like doing too much. If it works for you, great. You know what I mean? Share something with me. I'm open to the knowledge of whatever anybody's perspective is. I don't mind sharing it. But again, I'll put this in perspective again. Like, how important is religion? And my brother said this, we was building on this earlier. He was like, look, the Ku Klux Klan profess to be Christians. Just think about that. Like, that was their whole thing. They were Christians and they wanted to keep the quote unquote white race pure, meaning they did not wish to amalgamate with the brothers and sisters of quote unquote Africa, allegedly. Right. So that's now, because that's their religion, does that make them holier than anybody else? You know what I mean? So religion is it kind of it's a beautiful thing. It's a part of society, but what people claim to be doesn't necessarily make them that spiritually or religiously. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, if we're talking from an earthly perspective in the history of Christianity, these were the people who were fighting Moors or Muslims, you know what I mean? If people, whatever history timeline you want to go to, right? Like, this is what it was: Moors and Christians, and we want to live in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. But the history is the history, right? This is a real fact. So I'm saying the fact that who people are and the religion they hide behind is two different things. And I'm not saying anybody who's into claiming things like Christianity or Muslim is hiding behind anything. They may really need spiritual soul searching. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing wrong with that, but just because they're doing that doesn't make them holier than thou. That's what I'm saying. So know thyself, man.
Islam.
Islam.
No, that's right and exact.
Right? Like, I don't know. I just that's where I'm at with it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. No, because that's been floating around for this week. You know, this thing of, well, Noble Drew Ali is some religious leader or something like that. And just like what you're saying, it's like they're doing the same thing that the churches are doing. They just have fezzes on.
Right. Yeah.
Like that's all it looks like. And these are supposed to be, you know, the ones who are the you know, the pinnacle for Moors to reach to. And they're playing pastor games or something. With the name of Grand Sheikh or Grand Governor or Divine Minister or whatever. You know, you know, like I was asking them, you know, why don't you do the things that you do in the mosque at the Moor Science Temple?
Mm-hmm.
If that's your holy stuff, then why don't you just face east and do all that stuff there? Where you going all the way to those people's stuff for?
Yeah. And again, shout out to Yusuf, right? Because he was like, yo, Miz, I got you, Yusuf. I'm gonna do another video. But I told you I was going back through some of my old you know, produced videos and whatnot. And you know what I mean? Like, the one that I did with Shabazz, it's not tooting my own horn, but it was like everything is that we talking about was already addressed in that video. Because how many times need it be reminded to you that even if you are into being a Muslim, like Holy Quran, the Mecca, everything, no disrespect, but the word of Allah in there is that it doesn't matter if you pray to the north, east, south, or west, there I am. Allah is all around you. It doesn't, you know what I mean? And that's not disrespecting protocol, but it's not like Allah is on one side of the world. Like, if we talking about the all, right? Like, that's all is all, like all everything. So whether you pray or you are in the north, or you pray or you are in the east, or you pray or you are in the southwest, whatever, there is Allah too, because Allah is all. And so, you know what I mean? Some people need that ritualistic discipline, I guess, for themselves. But this is where you got to make sure you keep ego in check and stay humble, because that might just be what you need for that time. But my thing also is, even on this subject, I want to say this, because they'll say that Moors, like, and again, we have to, if we're going to look at what Noble Drew Ali said, the Circle 7 is where it's at, as well as all of the other literature. But they'd be like, oh, well, no, these people believe in the fact that they are God and they are Allah, and you know what I mean, and say that as if that's something Noble Drew Ali did not teach. And I'm saying that in chapter 1, not because I didn't make this up, I didn't write this. This is Noble Drew Ali's literature. He speaks about Allah and man being one. It's in chapter 1 of the Circle 7. So what I'm saying is, when you recognize Allah is all, and you know, or you'll recognize that you are a part of the all. So Allah and man being one, I would say it's not a wrong concept, but also Noble Drew Ali said that himself. Moors of this era of time didn't make that concept up. Like, he said it. It's in chapter 1. So again, that coupled with the fact that whether you pray to the north, east, south, or west, Allah is saying, there I am. You don't have to look outside of self to find you or to find God. You know what I mean? And that's a fact.
Islam.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out if it's like sent people, because I heard another Moor told me that there's another group of Moors that's trying to set up out here to be Moor Science Temple. On top of the ones who are set up right now as a Moor Science Temple study group.
Oh, where? Out Canaanland?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But it's interesting that all of them are saying Moor Science Temple of America, Canada. They're not saying Canaanland.
Yeah, that might be a branch of the infiltration, the global infiltration.
Yeah.
Because remember, it's on globally right now. And this is not to scare nothing, but you know what I mean? Let's keep in mind what Russia just did. And again, we don't have nothing to do in this sense, except for Moorish ancient history is a real thing. I don't know if you've seen this, but we've seen these paintings and pictures before, but they had an exhibition in Russia, and Putin put out the images of the so-called Jesus, and it was a Moor. It was Moorish images, everybody. You know what I mean? And so I'm saying that to say this: with all of the global and international conflicts that's going on, you know what I mean? Like everything is up everywhere. And I'll say this: look, man, I don't know those people that you're talking about. You know what I mean? But I know that your intentions, as far as the Moorish Divine and National Movement, as long as you've been active with it, are pure from where you coming from. And if that is infiltration, bro, you know what I mean? Just remember, you were the first. You were one of the first of this era of time, or the first. You know what I mean? Because shout out to all of you Canaanland Moors that rock with the Canaanland Moors that you know what I mean? Everybody on the line. But you will always be, one that was on the front line before any of them. And we see even on the page that Noble Drew Ali was doing what he was doing up there as well, too. So, you know what I mean? No matter what they do more, I just want you to know they're going to always fail because they can't beat the truth, bro. Like, they can't. So,
exactly.
Don't even pay no mind to them ninjas. You know what I'm talking about? Because they're going to fall on their face. Look at all of them who tried. Like, whether we said something or didn't, they going through it. So, it's only a matter of time before, as Yusuf said, the look at me's will be looking real crazy. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think that's wild though, because it's crazy. Like it would be really great if we were all on one page, but it's just not like that. You know what I mean? And that's hard to accept, you know what I mean? But it's the truth. Like, all right, these people are doing something weird over there, and they doing something else over here. You know what I mean? They ain't doing what they doing. You know what I mean? We not on some consulate time. Not that we hate Moors. It's just our political views are different. And no matter what our religion is, until we actually deal with what the actual true political view is, as far as the law of the land, that's the only thing we need to actually be in unity with. Like that, because I say that respectably, as far as whether somebody believe in Jesus or somebody believe in Buddha, or somebody believe in Muhammad. It's like, okay, all of that is perfectly fine. Nothing against that. But there's some stuff going on this earth realm that's coming through from what they call politics. This is where the divine and the national actually meet. How we showing up there, right? Like this is if we're talking about our earthly salvation, right? Like it's gonna come through being divinely prepared, but then doing something on the earth for your salvation, right? And so that's where it meets. And yeah, so yeah, more as far as the politics, if we understand that nationality determines political status, and most of us on the line do, but it's some people who'll be like, oh, they got that information from a law book. The European made that law book up, but then sit here and turn right around in the next sentence and hold us to a standard of what Europeans made up under color of law, as far as how they perceive us, which isn't right and exact, but it's just like the stereotypes are real. You know what I mean? And so, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this is another thing too.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about this? There's some Moors who are, I'll say, upset, and they're upset because of me supporting modern Europeans who are talking positive about the Moorish paradigm. They're not talking crazy about Noble Drew Ali. They're not saying Moorish nationality is sovereign citizens or whatever like that.
Mm-hmm.
What's the modern Europeans' connection to Moorish nationality? Like are they connected to this? Is it something that has nothing to do with them, or like where do you see them fitting?
It depends on which way you look at it, because I'm saying that to say this. Do the Europeans have anything to do with Moorish nationality? Absolutely. Absolutely, they do. Now, in which way do they have something to do with it? You know, that may be up for debate. But I mean, if you just look at Moorish history, you could go to Nature Knows No Color Line. You could look at Moulay Ismail. He had 25,000 European slaves. Now remember, Moulay Ismail is emperor of Morocco and all that, right? Had 25,000 European slaves in Europe. And had them build his colossal palaces and all that. 25,000. So I would say this: if we was to just be unbiased as we could be, if we was to just be unbiased, I don't condone slavery, but if somebody abused you your whole existence as you known it, and you've realized, oh no, this isn't normal living, this is abuse, or I could live better than this, or whatever it is, right? Like, because many of us feel the same way today. You know what I mean? It's like, then again, you will understand why they were on it like they were on it, and why they doing what they doing, because they don't want to go back to that, just like we don't want to be that at this point. So history didn't start with us being born. It didn't start with Noble Drew Ali. It founded the Moorish Science Temple of America. We're talking about on a political level, international, national, and global politics, or global law, like international law. And this stuff supersedes all of our existence right now. So, yeah, more like that's how I feel about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, this stuff supersedes all of us. So, in that sense, they have something to do with it. But then, even to where the pendulum was swinging for them, they had to make a treaty with Morocco. They had to make a treaty with Moors to even be in the political position today that I was saying earlier. Yeah, this is where the divine and the national meets, is through politics. Because I promise, like, this is real history. There is no United States of America without Morocco. Right? Like, and remember, Moroccans is a nation, and this is why all of those presidents who acknowledged Moroccans, it was like Morocco was the first nation. They never call them a country. Why they never call Moroccans a country or Morocco? They say it's the first nation when they talk about the Treaty of Peace and Friendship. Without that, without them being recognized by Moors, they don't even exist. Real or artificial, doesn't matter. Who people identify as the oppressor or whatever, right? They don't exist. And it's not Moors' fault, but they couldn't exist without Moors because Moors had a global empire. And it had to, empires rise and fall. It wasn't the first Moorish empire that rose and fell, like, you know what I mean? But that's what happens. It's, you know, up and down. And so in that era of time, there was no way they could be recognized by any nations of the earth without being recognized by the people who had the nations of the earth pretty much in a upward swing based off of their global dealings and inclinations to do commerce throughout the globe off of natural resources. Like, so you could imagine the drip they was making. You talk about what, the Silk Road and all of that, right? Like, imagine the drip back then that Moors was making with real silk and taking it across the globe and calling it the Silk Trade or the Silk Road. Like, this is real history. You know what I'm talking about? So yeah, Europeans have something to do with it in that sense, but not in the sense of, do we have to be recognized, and like, are we real unless they recognize us? I wouldn't go that far. I understand the opposition is because this beef didn't start, you know what I mean, when Noble Drew Ali popped up. You know what I mean? This was, I don't even want to call it a beef because it was, you know, treaties made that are still to this very day they're obligated to. But I'll say that the discrepancies came in when they started operating under color of law, right? I don't want to call that a beef, but they're operating under color of law. And
Right.
this is where the resistance of what they're doing is coming from. It's not like we just hate them because they from Europe, and it's not that we hate them at all. It's just like, no, you doing wrong. You need to stop so that the rest of society could be all right out here. You know what I mean? Because what you're doing is wrong. This is not the law of the land. Don't hate you. You know, there's many criminals in the world. We may have brushed shoulders with some that we grew up with. Some of them that we grew up with done put on the blue suit, and they're just still who they was in the blue suit. So we know that the crime amongst those ranks is real. However, you know, when somebody said, I don't care what you into, my rights are my rights, and I'm not going to let you violate my rights or me or my persons. You know what I mean? That don't mean it's some hate with that. It just means, no, we standing up to the wrongdoers. We're standing up to these so-called bullies. And because everybody else may be scared to do that, oh, we'll get online and talk about each other like, you know what I mean? We don't even, our lives don't matter. But when it comes to who's actually oppressing us on whatever level you work on, and it doesn't matter. You will find something more than likely unconstitutional about the situation, right? And so, if you're talking corporate world, you know, but yeah, more like, I just say that in the sense that because Moors were branded Negro, black, and colored by the Europeans in 1779, I would say they have a lot to do with the Moorish history that is important to know today, because it starts in a sense there with the brand of Negro, black, and colored. So yeah, they got everything to do with it. If the legacy is going to be told in totality, hell yeah, they got something to do with it. Absolutely. If it's going to be told in its total perspective, good, bad, or indifferent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so one of the mothers was asking in the chat, is it a matter of operating under commerce versus natural law as far as them? Like when you're saying them doing the color of law.
Uh-huh.
Or them practicing the color of law and us being, opposite of that. The opposite would be us being in natural law.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the question basically is natural law and common law. Which one should we be operating on? Can you read that again? Because
it's a matter of operating under commerce versus natural law.
Yeah. Simply put, natural law supersedes any law you think you know. Yeah. Simply put like that. Commercial law, civil law, because all of it is based on, without the law of nature, none of that exists. So natural law will trump any law anybody brings up anytime. And that's why, you know what I mean, the law of the land is so important because it protects that. International law, the rights of indigenous people. If you know natural law, it basically is backing all of that up for every individual, if you will. Yeah, I would go natural law every time.
Over whatever else. Whatever
Yeah,
other law
absolutely.
or whatever they're gonna bring up. No, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Because even when you look at these quasi domiciles or these quasi national domiciles or states, like let's just say, I believe Florida is a stand your ground, or quote unquote, they adhere to the stand your ground doctrine, right? But then they say, well, in other states, there's no self defense law. Well, that tells you a lot right there, because if you know the law of nature, you have an absolute right to defend yourself in any situation where you're threatened by bodily, physically harm. So somebody trying to, you know what I mean, harm you, you have a right to defend yourself. And that is the law of nature. And I'm like, yo, y'all brothers have to know that. Everybody should know that. Like that's just natural. Like it don't matter if you corner any animal, it'll lash out at you, right? Like it's just a natural thing. And so again, the law of nature, bro, I'm rocking with that over everything every time. Like, and I acknowledge the Constitution because it supports that. Again, if you really really know, back to the original question, how big is religion in it? It really means a lot in its true meaning, because you're really talking about the law of nature, like I said earlier, natural things happening. And so, in the law of nature, if we're a species or a natural manifestation, like every other natural creature here, that was designed by the Most High, then there's natural rights that we have. I don't care what, let's see, because damn, this happened in such a short period of time. Remember, 1492, when Columbus and them first came, right? Like, remember, the Moors fell that same year, and they came that same year. So all of this is interrelated. Moors fell in Spain that same year, and then they came to America, right, to conquer the Moorish Empire. But remember, 1492 is not even 1,000 years ago, bro. So how did, in this short period of time, the natural people get disconnected from natural law? Whose ideology do they possess? I don't think that's a natural mind state to think that you can't defend yourself. I don't care what religion you believe in. Like, if somebody is up attacking you, all that lives wants to live. You're going to do what you got to do. And it's rightfully so. It's not that you're wrong. It's not that you should be taking all this abuse and punishment and all of this and not do nothing, right? What, you supposed to wait till some people get there? If you do that, then you know what I mean. You might be physically damaged by the time they get there. So it's a natural right, bro. Natural law is where it's at. I'm just saying that. You know what I mean? Natural law is definitely where it's at. And that's the real religion. Because even when you look at, let's just say, because it's the truth, though, the Bible is symbolic, right? It's symbolic, codified astrology. But people say on this earth plane, this is where you hear people say, hey, you die, you go to heaven, right? Like, or you die, you go to hell, or whatever. There's still a remnant on a very low level, but it's still a concept of as above, so below, right? Like heaven is in the sky and hell is below the earth, right? Like in the pits of the earth's crust and core, where it's 1,000,000 degrees. And you know what I mean? Like it's all still kind of that polarity concept. But some people really believe that heaven is in the sky. Okay, well, let's start there. What do we see in the sky? Like, because there's some stuff we don't know, but we could see some stuff that's real evident if we was to just look up there in the night sky or even broad daylight. Again, why Noble Drew Ali was talking about the sun hanging at high noon and men comprehending not the light. Again, remember, all of this is natural law. So I'm going to say natural law trumps everything, because without nature, none of this exists. And so, again, if we was to just look to the heavens, we could see it's something out there. But are we going to dismiss what we see to believe in something we don't? Meaning, like, there's, you know what I mean? Like, the stars ain't real, but there might be a heaven up there. Like, well, let's start with what we can see, right? Above, there's a sun in the sky. There's a moon in the sky. There's stars in the sky. Are those the mansions? Are those the heavens? Does that have anything to do? Is that just one room lit up there? You know what I mean? No matter how you look at it, you're still talking about something for real, though, on a real level that's natural, because it's up there, right? Like, it's up there. It's nothing nobody could do to stop this cycle unless their power extend beyond, you know? So, you know what I'm talking about? And that's just where it's at, bro. So yeah, natural law trumps all of that every time. But it's really based in nature. Right? Religion too is really based in nature. Because that was the first religious creed, was astronomy, cosmology. I promise you, the first people wasn't thinking about
some outside themselves heaven that they're gonna go to after death.
Right. They was on some where we at right now. What is that in the sky? What, I promise you, they wasn't thinking about just one prophet that was to come tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and even for some millions of years later, bro. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, that the religion they was talking about, it and this is no disrespect, but I promise you, it had nothing to do with Jesus. It had nothing to do with Muhammad. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't that. And it's no disrespect to that as we progress through society. Right. But I promise you, that wasn't the old time religion. If we're talking about civilizations existed 100,000 of years ago, Jesus didn't exist 100,000 years ago. Muhammad didn't exist 100,000 years ago. You know what I'm talking about?
So are you implying that there's something before these prophets?
Yeah.
That has to be the old time religion?
Yeah, absolutely. Sun, moon, and stars, cosmology. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. That's that old time religion. For real, for real. And the fact that
go back to the minds of our foremothers and forefathers wasn't, you know, honors to Muhammad and peace be unto him, or Jesus, or any of the personages. The real deal is that this thing is ancient, and you can't get more ancient than a green 5-point star on your flag.
Yeah, and
old time religion.
That old time religion. And again, this is absolutely no disrespect to anybody who practices those creeds today. But I'm saying going back to civilizations hundreds, thousands of years ago, you know what I mean? Those things didn't exist in the form that they do today. Anyway, let me say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, I think that's what makes Noble Dry League message really good, and it gives us something to look up to in the sense of what's going on in the heavens, because it says something slick like, yo, you know, the sun hangs at high noon, but men comprehend not the light. Like, damn, bro. You know what I mean? Like when you study the math and the science of what he was saying, like real talk, like the sun is at its highest peak 12 noon every day, and it's still people who don't comprehend that light. Wow, there is some people who do. They're harnessing it to make solar panels. They're comprehending the light. You know what I'm saying? And so when we don't see the natural, you know what I mean? It is a handicap, no matter what you believe in. And it's not to worship the sun. I don't think the sun is alive, right? Like it's worthy of acknowledgement. You know what I mean? But should we be worshiping anything or any image outside of, you know, the energy of the all manifesting all this that we see? I mean, that's up for each individual. I acknowledge the natural instruments just because they're natural and exist. I get it. You know what I mean? Like I don't worship it, but I acknowledge it. So I love me, you know, the view of the sunlight and the moonlight and the sound of the ocean and the sound of the seagull. All of this is natural music to me. You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah. You know, some people listen, and this is no shot. Some people listen to gospel music. I like to listen to natural sounds. You know what I'm saying? So I can listen to the waves crashing and be cool. I love the rhythm. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I guess it's on each individual, bro. You know. But yeah, I would say the old time religion, it definitely didn't have anything to do with worshiping the image and likeness of one human being, man, woman, whatever. That's not what it was. But to honor that, because when you again, and people will say that this is where it get confusing. It's like, all right, well, Noble Drew Ali was teaching about, the oneness with Allah, but also in his lessons, there's a lesson about when man looks in the face of man, he looks at the image of Allah. Like we didn't make this up. You know what I mean? Like these are lessons in the Circle 7, you know? And so, yeah, it was the reason he wanted us to know that.
Yep. And when you're talking about the light, just to put this out there, metaphysical meaning of light, the understanding principle in mind, in divine order, it always comes first into consciousness. Light is a symbol of wisdom. When Jesus said, I am the light of the world, he meant that he was the expresser of truth in all aspects. Light, inner, the illumination of spirit, resident in the center of every man's being. Illumination, the light of Christ, spiritual understanding, intuitive knowing, spiritual illumination in a state of consciousness resulting from Holy Spirit baptism. It is good to affirm Christ's radiance lights my mind, and my whole being is illuminated with truth. See, illumined, illumined consciousness, a mind purified by the light of truth, illumined thoughts, thoughts quickened through their conscious relationship to spirit.
And peace, more. That was fire. I wanted to share this too. I was talking to my brother earlier, and this conversation came up and about the brother Shabazz. I never forget. He was telling me, he was like, because remember, again, shout out Sharif and whatnot, but this brother was from Harlem as well. The elder Shabazz, the elder God Shabazz, and he was telling me, about the Moorish movement during the 70s, 80s, and whatnot. And he was saying that they would call the Fez the lampshade. That's what he said. He was like, we know who Moors are, right? Like, and whenever we see a Fez, what we acknowledge it as is the lampshade. He was like, it's not a disrespect. It's because that somebody wearing that on their crown is carrying, they have to have the light to wear that. You know what I mean? So that's what they acknowledged it as. And I'm sure he's not the only one, but in that time frame, that's how they saw it. You know what I mean? Like, we could call a baseball cap a fitted. They called the Fez a lampshade, and it wasn't an insult. You get what I'm saying? Like, because the person had to have the light to be wearing it. Nowadays, people just putting it on, and there's no, you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy out here right now. But yeah, I just wanted to add that on when we was talking about the light.
Islam. Yeah, that's a good one. The lampshade.
Yeah.
The lampshade.
The lampshade. And it wasn't no insult.
And being that it's no insult, it's crazy that all these people know that they know on that level. They know on that level that anybody with a fez, they probably have the light.
Yeah. Yep.
But how come they're not seeking the light then? Where's their lampshade at?
Mm-hmm.
Like all the people who were watching, like, oh wow, look there, the Moors over there. How come they didn't get to the place of, is it the same thing of like the people today who see us and say lampshade, but they're not on it?
Right.
It seems like it's the same thing going on.
Right.
Like history really repeating itself.
Yeah.
There's ones that have the light and ones that don't.
Mm-hmm.
And the ones who have the light are the ones that's in power. Because light is energy.
Mm-hmm. It's a fact. But I think what happened, I really think this will happen over time. Like, as more as we recognize our tools and regalia and everything, right? But I really think what happened over time is the same thing that we see today. Like, there's people who are putting on the lampshade, but they don't have the light. And they're the ones that the mainstream see. Some do. Don't get me wrong. We know. But I'm saying, you've seen the ops out here, bro. You see what it is, right? Like, and not that everybody with a lampshade is an op. It's just they might be their own worst enemy in the sense of they really don't know, right? Like, they really, some do, some don't. And I think that since it's been happening since Noble Drew Ali was alive, they never let the Fez or the lampshade like not exist, but they was like, hold on, there's a association going on right now where it's kind of ill. Maybe that's what happened. You know what I mean? Like, because there's, like, I know now through experience in life that I know, yes, that's a lampshade, but everybody who wear it really might not have that light. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
Yeah. But it itself is what it is. The Fez is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what the Fez is. Everybody who put it on may not understand that. You know what I mean? And so they start repping with, like you said, they might think it's just a religious headdress. It's also a national headdress. Or they might just start repping the national headdress and not recognize the divinity behind it, like we speaking of now on light degrees. You know what I'm saying? And of that nature. But to bear it, you gotta have it. You can't just and man knows nothing by being told. So therein, here go the requirements. You gotta study. You gotta make that information your own. There is no other way. There is no cookie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, even if somebody was to write out a writ for you, you still have to study it so you can stand on it.
Right.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
it
that's the part that they're missing in this time with the online get information thing. That's what they're missing. They're missing them studying it for themselves.
Facts, bro.
Because it used to be go to the feet of the masters, take your notes, and then go study.
Yeah.
You know.
That
now
part.
there's no going to study. Now it's just they're just taking what's said and that's what it is, and go out there and fail and then blame the info.
Exactly. That's what's happening. One of the reasons I can't ever do that is because before I could really appreciate and have the courage to stand on it, is I was forced to go look it up myself. You know what I mean? Like, I had the help. Bro. Like, when I had my first little situation, 17 turning 18, it was minor, but it was major. And I was helped by my mom, Taj, Nature, right? And it was simply just go make this knowledge your own, right? I'm not speaking for what anybody is doing, but as far as the information I was instructed to go and research and obtain copies of, I was able to do just that. So I went down to the county library and I copied Title 18, Section 241, 242. Right? I went down, I had to get a copy of the judge's oath, the policeman's oath, all of that. I had to go get that. You know what I mean? Like, I had to do it myself and bring all that evidence back in the sense of, okay, now you have standing to argue this. If you don't have this, don't even try to argue that, because you got to know that you're right with what you're saying. If you don't know that you're right in standing on the Constitution, it doesn't matter if what you're saying is right. You got to know that. You can't, go in there and hoping you land a haymaker. Like, no, you got to know what you're standing on is right, even if you got to bob and weave the biases thrown at you and all of this. And not just me, many others. I think that is the difference, is that we really had to want this information. You know what I mean? Now people may not even want to have the information, but they got an opinion on it. But they never researched it for themselves. So their opinion is based off of what they don't know, but what they observe. Right? So without that study part, and then when you study well and ask what to study next, the reply will be study yourself. Well, the first question I would ask is, does yourself study before you even study yourself? My fault, bro. I'm getting on some Confucius degrees. I killed the floor.
Well, you go on your degrees, boy. We're on our time. You don't worry. Yeah. This Freestyle Thursday, you can vent today.
What? Talk about it. So yeah, more. But yeah, I just think that's the part that's missing as far as people putting in the work. It's like a click and a download, which is nothing wrong with that. But I do believe, I trust, I think, I feel like when you like that whole aspect of, oh man, to go find this law that I'm standing on, I literally got to go to the county library, look it up in the book, then take the book to the copy machine, make a copy of the page or 2 or 3 that I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Then go to the city hall, get a copy of the magistrate's oath and whatnot. Okay, now you got all of this, and you know that if you read that, if you could read that this is what they obligated to, bro, it's next level from there. And I don't think that anybody trying to make that argument could really solely stand on it without having those things. That's just how I feel. Because I'd be like, hold on, before you went to argue your case or whatnot, did you actually get an oath? Did you get a copy of the judge's oath? You know what I mean? Did you introduce into evidence, Title 18, Section 241, 242, or some sort of natural law that applies to the matter? Like what, you know what I mean? And I just feel like without that, people won't really make it their own, bro. They'll start hating other people who know this because they don't know. So yeah, more. I yield the floor right now.
Islam.
Islam.
It's a beautiful thing to know. And I think that's really what's missing. The the application part of it, the going through it. Because without going through it, you're never gonna know. Like you're never gonna know if you don't go through it. There was a time when you couldn't find people because they were studying. And not just because they got some case or something like that. You know what I mean? Like they're just you got into that place where I need to know this. You just need to know. Knowing is paramount. There's a drive there. We're talking about waking up, putting on some DVD or something like that, waking up and the thing's still playing or whatever, or it's on the loop or something. Studying is something that has to be done. If you're not studying, somebody's gonna get you for 500 or 1,000 or whatever. Somebody's gonna get you. Right? Somebody's gonna get you. And another thing that grinds my gears is when after they get played and they come to me and then we tell them how it really is, they don't want to go with that, but they're gonna take out all their frustration not on the people who played them. They're gonna be mad at everybody except the people who played them or even themselves, which again goes back to knowing. I think we also talked about Juali telling these Moors that they got two selves that you got to know. You better know them too. So if you don't, you're going to have your own issues dealing with that. And it's a must that we get into the place of knowing. Moors who've been studying already know what's up. Like we were talking about earlier. Once you come through the MHHS, Eyes Wide Open, Civil Alert, Moore's Order, a round table. Once you come through a certain level of Moore's as your foundation, today we're seeing how all that stuff paid off. By watching all these other people over here falling on their face, doing all types of madness that has absolutely nothing to do with what this is about. Absolutely nothing. They're just out here causing confusion. Just throwing up videos just because. Now look at how much ammo these trolls or whatever have now to try to make this look like some type of folly. Because some people want to go out there, try stuff, get their window bashed in and all that stuff. And then the Moors who are just exercising and not having any issues, you don't even know them. All you're limited to is these examples of Moors doing waywardness with the birthright. Not because you strayed away from what the true foundation of what this was about. Strayed absolutely away. When they talk about being on the path, right? And then you say, oh yeah, I'm just gonna take an adventure and go, and then you end up all the way in some other place just because you wanted to go off the path. That's where majority of the people are at now. Because of the amount of confusion that's out there. Just to keep you off the path. Because this really is about you knowing yourself. This is really about above the door in the matrix, above the door on the temples. Before you even go in there, you need to know yourself. Forget you're going in there to know yourself. Before you even go in, you better know yourself. So when you go in, know yourself could take a new form. You're going in there, dummy. That's why Drew Ali said more. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality. You had it before you came to the place. You just didn't proclaim it. You just didn't put it out there. Now's the opportunity to put it out there. Because as you can see, all the stuff going on, earthquakes and all that stuff, that Drew Ali told you all the stuff's going to happen if you play black games.
Right, though. That's the part of the natural message that's going over a lot of our people's head. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, it's that time. It's that time. We in the total eclipses and every part of the country that's seen it in the past 10 years or the continent, North America. Everybody been in this projection, whether they caught the last one on April 8th or the one before that and the one before that. At this point, every region has been eclipsed. It happened where everybody could see it at this point. At least 3 of them covered the whole length. You know what I mean? And so all that stuff you're talking about and some. All the stuff Noble Drew Ali was talking about, what you was talking about, the earthquakes and natural disasters. Bro, listen. Oh, man, I wish I sent you this picture. I don't know. I don't know if Yusuf could tap in, but I know we are in a region where we're not too far from the coastline / the edge of the so-called flat earth, right? So-called. But listen, yo, the beach erosion, I'm telling you, fam, I live by the coastline. It's not a good thing in the sense of what's naturally happening. Like the beaches are being eroded. It could be a drizzle and the place is flooded for like 4 towns in. You know what I'm talking about? Like, it's crazy, bro. Like, so yeah, there's a lot of the natural, like you said, Noble Drew Ali was speaking about in the Divine Warning. That's happening now, bro. Like, there's real talk, coastlines being eroded. Nothing there left. Pictures just from 1991. From 1991 to 2024, what these beaches are looking like. They got the U.S. Army engineer trying to refill the coastlines with sand, dredging the ocean to put it back on. Like, it's something happening in the natural law, in the natural world, where none of this artificial stuff can stand a chance against the natural. whether that's Mother Nature or Mother Nature's children. You know, like even if we gotta add in Father Time, like from back then to now, right? Mother Nature, Father Time, natural law, where we at now, a lot of this stuff is absolutely manifested already. And people were like, well, how's Noble Drew Ali a prophet? A lot of the stuff he was saying has showed itself to be right and exact and has played out on political theater, bro. So yeah, pardon me, but I just wanted to add that on to what you was talking about. He told us this stuff was going to happen. Whether we believe in him or not, whether we worship him as God or whatever, like what he was actually saying and prophesizing actually happened. It happened. It definitely happened.
Islam. Yeah, it's all happening right now. And then even if you go to the Bible scriptures and all that stuff and all this lotus stuff going on and grasshoppers and stuff like that, spiders, people can't leave their house. Everything's going on. Everything's happening.
Hey yo, you know what's crazy though? And again, I'm just thankful I made it this far in life. You know what I'm saying? I'm 37. My brother and I have family that stay in the Maryland area. And I remember going to visit since I was young, like teenager or before teenager, but specifically in my teenager years. I'll never forget, I was 17 and I went to Maryland and there was this thing happening where it was a bunch of these cicada bugs that had emerged from the ground. And the theme was, yo, there was every 17 years. This is what happens in a certain region, right? And so it's like, oh, okay. So I'll never forget that because it was like this buzz. I forgot what soccer game this was, but if you ever look at the highlights of I don't remember what soccer game this was, but they had like this instrument and it just make like this buzz sound, but it sound just like the cicadas that come out every 17 years. Pardon me, I'm trying to get to a point, but they come out every 17 years. So when I turned 34, it happened again. I'll never forget. I'm like, damn, I never seen or heard this ever in my life. They're like, yeah, this only happens every 17 years. And so, again, I was like, so damn, I'll be 34 the next time it happened if I live that long. And sure enough, in 2021, it happened again during the pandemic, right? And some of these weird bugs was popping up like, yo, you ain't never see this. But those were cicadas. My question is, because these cicadas are slotted in their natural cycle to happen every 17 years, what are these cicadas that's about to happen this summer? Like, how are they off the path and off the rhythm of the 17-year cycle? Get what I'm saying? Like, I really, this is my question. Like, hold on, this cicada thing is only supposed to happen every 17 years. Is there something we don't know? Because, or something that ain't being told? Like, because it just happened, the cicada emergence just happened in 2021. It only happens every 17 years. How all of a sudden this new cycle came up? What cycle are these cicadas on is what I want to know. Like, I really want to know, like, how often do these cicadas that's allegedly about to emerge, how often do they emerge? Because the cicadas I know about, they only happen every 17 years. And it just happened 3 years ago. So what's happening to where now 3 years later, they're about to emerge again and they on a 17-year schedule? Or is there something else in nature we don't know about? See, this is the true religion. This is the law of nature. You know what I mean? This is what we're supposed to be studying. This, not just this, but, you know, when you add the concept of Natural law and being at peace with Islam is really about, with everything around you, right? Like you have to ask these questions. Why are these cicadas on this different rhythm? You know what I mean? Like it's like seeing an animal that hibernates in the winter coming out in the winter. You know what I mean? Or you know what I mean? At a time it's not supposed to happen. So I trust y'all get what I'm saying, but I do know that the cicada rhythm that just the cicadas that just emerged on their own rhythm in 2021, this is offbeat. This is something else, bro. This is something else. This is definitely something else. I don't think it's the real rhythm of the cicada emergence, bro. I hope I don't sound crazy to y'all, but I know what I know. If you know what I mean.
Unless it's the hybrid cicadas, like the hybrid salmon that ate all the real salmon.
Yeah, I don't know, but I just know that it's offbeat.
Because that's what I'm saying. That because one thing with nature is nature's always on beat. Nature doesn't, like, something has to happen to make nature shift.
Right. Yeah.
No, there has to be some type of external force that's causing nature to not do what it's supposed. Because exactly 17 years, that's pretty serious. Like that's a schedule.
Yes.
That at 17 years, this specific thing is happening with this particular species. You know,
major,
and it's no different than our cycles. You know, that we have our little, every 5 years, every 8 years, every 12 years, some type of BS or some type of great thing happens in your life. You know, yeah, that's a crazy schedule. And then is that just that particular species of cicada, or is there like how many are there really?
Hold on, but is it just the species of cicada? Period. Like let's go. Let's talk about it. Oh, all of a sudden UFOs exist too. Stars popping out the ground and UFOs exist in the sky as above, so below. Like what? Like let's be real about it. Is it just that type of timing we on? Total solar eclipses and you know what I'm talking about? Like, bro. When we just look at the natural, fam, like it's talking to us. It's talking to us if we're observing it. You know what I mean? I just know for a major fact. I always thought that when I was 17, I'll never forget. I was with my brother and family in Maryland, and the cicadas had popped up, and it was like, "Yup, this happened every 17 years. It's gonna happen in another 17 years," and that's just how it go.
Yeah.
And since I was 17 till I turned 34, that was the type of thought that was always on the back of my mind. Like, well, if a cicada, which is just a bug, it's a bug. We see all types of bugs, but a cicada is a bug. It's on a cycle where it just pops out the earth and take over everything for one summer, but only every 17 years. I thought to myself at that point, like, what else in nature is on longer schedules like that, right? Like, what if, I mean, I noticed that I'm not trying to be facetious, but what if all the whales pop up to take a walk on Earth every 300 years or every 2,000 years? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what if,
just as you're saying that, they just had some people's picture go into some archive or whatever of people who saw the Loch Ness monster.
Yeah. Like, you know what I mean?
There's some people who document the pictures that people took of it. Right? And these people's picture is close to all the other pictures and all that. So is this thing where, what you're talking about, the things being unearthed. You know what I mean? Like, because if they're taking all the food or whatever, if we look in for example, with the fish, if there's a certain amount of fish because there's certain amount of predators and whatever, then if you take away all the predators' food, predators going to be going wherever it's got to go to get it. That might mean coastline or whatever. That might mean, places where boats go. You have some giant octopus or whatever like that looking at people, because again, something drastic had to happen to make these imbalances occur. Like somebody did something messed up. If you know what I mean, like the cicada. Because when I was checking the thing, some of them are saying, what is it? They're periodical and they're annual. The periodical ones are the ones by the decades, and then the annual ones are the yearly ones. But there's 3,000 species of those.
Okay, so what makes it why is this, if that's the case, which ones are these that they saying are about to spring up all over the place, right? Like they if they're the decade ones, because this doesn't happen annually. If it was annual, it wouldn't even be in the news. It'd just be like, hey, it's springtime. Oh yeah, the flowers are blooming. Okay. Nah, this is different. Like why are they putting this all in the news like it's about to be an invasion of bugs, of cicadas specifically, when we just had the cicada rhythm, like not the circadian rhythm, but the cicada rhythm. I don't know what region. If they're annual, that may be down south. I just know up north, this is every 17 years. So if it just happened 3 years ago on a 17-year cycle, what just happened to now 3 years later? Is this supposed to be happening again? No, it was supposed to be 17 years later. That's bugging me out. Real talk. That's crazy. Yeah, but again, there's many different species. I just want to know, why is it news? These have to be the decade joints. These have to be, because it wouldn't be such a big deal. They like U.S. embraced for cicada invasion. Like, what are you talking about? Like, this is not that. This is something different. And again, I can't stress enough how many other natural creatures only pop out once in, a couple thousand years. You know what I mean? I don't know. But yeah, that's what I think about on that. Like, there's something different. Yeah.
Definitely something different, but not different because it doesn't feel, even like earthquakes and whatever, it doesn't feel like it's a negative. It doesn't feel like it's some worrisome time or something like that because the cicadas are coming or whatever. It's like a realization. Things that you've been studying coming to pass to show you that you're right. You're on the right path. You're there.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, man.
There's a lot of things that's just different. You know what I mean? Like, even when we look at, we look at if anybody watch any type of sports, even that's different. You know what I mean? Like, things are just different. You used to get a bag of chips full. Now it's like quarter, half air.
Yeah. That
3/4 air. Things are just different. You used to have to You used to want to get the thing with the best, the best camera. And now everybody has a damn camera on their phone. That's better than anything you ever seen on a camera.
Uh-huh.
When you talk about the people who, this is their thing,
Facts.
You know what I mean? Used to have to be Johnny Carson or Arsenio Hall or something like that to be doing some interviewing people. Now any dingbat could go live and have a chair set up with a mic there and pretend like they're the number one interviewer of somebody. Stuff is just different.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, like we used to drink out the hose. You never thought not to drink out the tap water.
No, that's funny you say that, bro.
The more said it in the chat, it just really hit me. Like, yeah, you didn't think about not going in the pool. Like, you're going in the pool. You ain't worried about chlorine or whatever. Stuff is just different.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's real. That's definitely real. My gosh. Yeah, and a lot of stuff is changing, man. Like, you go to these places now, they want you to order, like, you could be at a natural vegan restaurant and you go to the counter and they want you to order, like, it'd be a person right there at the register and they want you to order online, like on the screen. You know what I mean? Like, you put your order on the screen and you be like, yo, punch this shit in and let me be out. Like, I just want to like, yo, it's really, the human interaction is becoming degraded, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
Yeah.
Like, see it in the world, like, damn. And the self checkout lanes, And one thing I can't stand about the self checkout lane is, like, all right, so you go to a supermarket and it's like 12 lanes, but it's only 3 human beings, maybe 4 at best out of the 12 lanes. And then it's like 12 self-checkout joints. But it's like 7 people in each line, and you're like, yo, I just really want to get out of here. Damn, let me just go through the self-checkout. Then you go to the self-checkout, and then you gotta weigh produce. And you don't know nothing to go. Like, you like, yo, man, now I need help because I don't know how to weigh, you know what I mean? The tomatoes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need this, and I don't know. And it's not like just scanning the barcode. Again, back to the natural shit that you can't, digitize, like the natural. So when they come to the produce, you gotta weigh it. It ain't no barcode. You know what I'm talking about? Like, it's from the earth. You gotta, you know what I'm talking about? So yeah, there's just a process with the natural. This is the way. You know what I'm talking about? And so, listen, man, it's a divine science of the universe that actually works and manifests everything. You know what I mean? And just having a respect for that and seeing its results and how it even is distributed to society. Like, like, damn, you can't scan no, raw celery, and you know what I mean? Like, you gotta weigh that, you gotta weigh it up. And so, mathematics, natural law is supreme. Constitution is based in that. That's why it's enumerated, meaning numbered, the way that it is. Still mathematics. Yes, it's the case laws they make is so important because they're stare decisis, meaning you really don't even got to go to the Supreme Court because it's already been reaffirmed that this is the law. This is their ruling, right? Like, the natural law is the real deal. So yeah, man, I just, I was saying that in correlation to the fact that, like, yeah, the human experience is being assimilated at this point into digital robot experience. Like you could be right there at the counter and the cashier don't even acknowledge you.
Yep.
Like they don't got nothing to do with you. Like they just fuck. They're not even okay. You know what I mean? Like you gotta acknowledge them. And where I'm at, yo, bro, they made. I hope this doesn't happen to anybody else. But goddamn, man, they made plastic bags illegal, bro.
Yeah. Oh
like,
yeah. They've been took plastic bags up.
Yeah.
And you can buy their bag though. Their special. What do you call it?
Yeah.
Nature helping bag.
Right. You know what I mean? Allegedly. We don't know. You know what I mean? But I mean, like, you know, so now it's like, all right, you gotta bring your own bag. The cashiers, they're not even trying to bag your products no more. They just scan them and look at you like you holding up the line because you ain't bag it fast enough. You know what I'm talking about? And I'm looking at them like you suck at your job because you should be bagging these right now. Like, and it's not even on no diminishing because you're doing this job. You're a minion. But like that's just what come with doing this job. Like, you know, you scan the groceries and bag that shit. Like, damn, they ain't doing none of that no more, bro. They looking at us crazy. Like, you better hurry up because it's like 3 more humans behind you who trying to get their groceries.
You don't want the savages to get riled up. Once the savages get riled up, you're done for.
Yeah.
Done for.
I'm like, yo, y'all are crazy, bro.
Yeah, unless once I don't have produce, I'm going to the self-check. Forget this shit. I'm not lining up with this stuff. Forget that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm even gonna be on some. I only have 5 things. Can I go in front of you and all that? Yo, they be letting you go. Like, yo, I'm not standing in this line. People are not.
Real talk. Like,
You only have 5 things. Like you have a basket. What the hell are you talking about? They gotta wait for you, yo? No wait. Let me just go quick with my 5 things, yo. You know.
Talk. Yeah, and that's the crazy part. Like you literally could go into the store and you got like 3 things. The person in front of you might got like 25 things. Look at you like, fuck you, it's my turn. Like, no, I scan all these 25 things. Yeah, I see you just got 2 juices, but it's my turn. Like society has become so selfish, bro. Like this shit is sad, bro. I be looking like, all right, whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah.
But I only do that because I let people go that have lesser stuff than me too. You know what I mean? So
yeah, like if I'm about to scan 20 things, and I see you like I see you standing there with like maybe 5 to 10 or whatever, be like, all right, go ahead, you know, just get out. I ain't gonna waste your time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. These people don't care, bro. They you gonna wait. Yeah, bro. And then the cashier looking at you the same way, like, damn, hurry up. Shit is hilarious, bro. Like
the other time that I use the self-serve is if they have the rookie on the long line.
Yeah.
Rookie cashiers out there, I'm going to the self-serve.
Word.
I'll shoot the stuff out faster than you can.
and then they'll have one employee like monitoring all of the self-serve checkout lanes, right? And if the machine go over and say, hey, this customer needs help, right? Then they come over and be like, and they act like they got an attitude to work the whole thing. I'm like, look, man, I could scan something that's mad easy. Y'all work here. I don't work here. You know what I mean? Like, I need you to weigh this shit up. You know what I'm talking about? And be out of here. Like, I don't know. You know, if y'all cutting checks, let me know as far as, you know, all of this stuff that y'all doing that we gotta now do. You know what I mean? Do we get a discount? Like shit, we doing y'all job. That's how I look at it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? This should come with a discount. Straight like that.
Yeah.
Go through the self-checkout lane. It should be a 25% discount.
Now, but the self-checkout kiosks are working so hard. You can't get their check.
Right.
Those things work 24 hours.
Hey.
The AI shift is crazy. The AI shift is sometimes they be working 3-4 days straight, yo.
Non-stop.
Yeah, it's non-stop.
Yeah. They working, but you gotta work them. Hey yo, I ain't even going. But yeah, like the machines are working, but they don't work unless you work them. And I'm like, yo, if I'm doing what y'all get trained to do, like as far as scanning and weighing and shit, like, and you know, and y'all trying to teach me how to do it, like I want to get paid for orientation. Like, just give me like a nice one orientation check. You know what I'm talking about? Like, just or that discount. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Not for nothing. I'm just saying, like, damn, I gotta go through learning. Like, yo, the customer service is whacked out. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, you know what I mean? Like, damn, I gotta do what y'all get, and y'all just watching me, and that's all y'all doing. What you here for then? Why you even here? Like, damn. You know what I mean? Like, you go scan it.
I'm watching. Yep.
Yeah.
Just chilling.
Fact.
Just wiping down the things. Everybody's done. That's what they do here. They might be there to help you or whatever, but in the self-check, there's just somebody wiping off the things. Wipe it off. Next. Robots doing the job, yo.
Yeah, that's where it's headed. That's where it's at. Not even headed. It's there now, bro.
Yeah, it's really Skynet right now. It's crazy. RoboCop and shit.
Super crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
It was crazy. Good times. Good times, yo. We're out here.
Yo, facts. So what's happening? Saturday, live stream Saturday.
Saturday. You know, we'll be doing the stream as usual. You know, get the tour out there. You know, so get that word out. We'll be going in as usual. You know, we'll have access to the library.
Facts.
We'll have access to the library, so you know, we'll have a good time Saturday. We'll have a good time.
Know that. That's what's really good. Yeah. Yo, yeah. Acknowledgement to the brother Yusef, brother Sharif, you cool Joe, man. I really wish I was up there with y'all right now, but I'll be tapped in, man.
We tried, but we already know how it goes. You know, we tried. It's the attempt. It's the attempt that counts.
Yeah,
you know? It's the attempt that counts.
Facts, yo. Indeed. But yeah, more. That being said, anything you want to say in closing, or y'all about to session up?
Yeah, we're here, yo. I know Brother Yusuf has something to add in because I know he's been holding it in.
Yeah. Salute, brother Liz. Islam, brother Yusef. Peace, more.
Give thanks, man.
Likewise, bro.
Give thanks for everything you do. You already know. Yo, the Grand Sheik made it. I know they mad because they said the Grand Sheik can't leave Canaanland. He can't travel. You know, they used to just hate on my Grand Sheik, but he's here. He's here.
Major facts. You know, and that's super dope. Fact. And that's what I'm saying. We you know, them type of people, bro, we can't pay no mind because everything they saying ain't even real anyway. Nope. It's like, you know, we know the difference. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, boy, like that's super dope already, man. I see y'all soon. Hey, I want to say this before we close out. I appreciate you. I appreciate you all. You know what I mean? And it was one of the dopest. It was one of the it was a great experience. That time we all went out to Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
That's an
experience that.
archive. Yeah, that's an
Because
archive. That's one.
yeah,
That's one of
man.
the ones that we talk about all the time, yo. Talk about Pittsburgh all the time.
Yo, it
was crazy.
was super dope. And I know there's more memories to create, but as far as Moorish architecture and history, it was all through the city. And y'all saw something that was absolutely out of this world. And I always I love this fact. Y'all, it was like what was it? Saint Benedict Moore, the Moor.
Yeah.
Oh man, the fact y'all pointed that out, I always appreciate you. Yeah, all of y'all, man. Yeah, that was dope, bro. Brother Amazite, yo.
Islam, brother, him was like, yeah, that Saint Benedict the Moor. Every time I bring that up, my eyes still to this day have never seen
anything like that. Yeah.
Like
that was huge, man.
That was the most. I was like, yo, that is crazy.
And we was driving up doing toilet.
You're miles away from it. But then as soon as you like, you know how you walk in front of a building and like you look up, you couldn't see him though. That's how big it was. When you look up, it was gone. You couldn't see it. You only could see it from a mile away, a mile back. You only could see it. As soon as you start getting closer, the thing was that huge. And it was a Moor.
Yeah. It was a Moor.
It was a Moor.
The name on the church.
It was like a Moor. It was a Moor.
Yeah.
Like a Moor. It was a brother.
It was a brother. Standing there. Yeah.
The biggest I've never seen a statue that big. Well, yeah, like on top of a building. Like the building was already huge.
Yeah.
And then you put him up there and made him huge.
Mm-hmm.
Right, because when you drive towards it's a long.
It was amazing. Yeah, that was like
that strip. Yeah, where they put it too. Yeah. It's like, yo, they really put this
come in there. It's like, yo, the sun disappeared. What just happened? You look up. Whoa, yo, it's more hovering over you. And change the atmosphere, the town where you just came in. He's like the air changed everything. And then everything was St. Benedict the Moor. St. Benedict the Moor School, St. Benedict the Moor Street, you name it. Everything was St. Benedict the Moor.
An eye opener.
Word. Yeah, that's dope. Yeah, I was about to say I think that was the name of the church. It was the St. Benedict the Moor joint.
Yep.
And yeah, that's
elementary school.
Yeah, there it is right there. Let me put this on for these Moors right here. There it is right there.
Word, bro. That's wild. Like that's one of my greatest Moorish memories. Like we was mad, all of us.
That was a real one. Yeah, that was a real one. Pittsburgh. Like there's many. You know what I mean? Not talking about anything else.
The whole thing.
Pittsburgh.
How it was like got us into the church.
Pittsburgh was crazy.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
And then we seen all the Moorish
figuring it out.
Oh, y'all the Moorish figurines in the church?
Yeah, in the church.
Yeah.
Embroidered in the wall glass at Moors. Had their own like special side. Like this is the key side over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they had I shared the picture. They had like this, today they called it a church, but like even with what I'm seeing on the screen right now with the St. Benedict the Moor, in the East Liberty section of Pittsburgh, they got this church, man. This joint is a whole block long and wide, right? Like it takes up one whole block and some change and some underground space and some sky space. But it was in the East Liberty section. And bro, they had all of the Moorish symbols. The Moorish flag was in there. And on a cloth of the flags of the nation of the earth, bro. Like, yeah, so like I don't know. I don't care what nobody says. It's definitely something specially Moorish about Pittsburgh, and it's not just that. Like all of that, like even going into Cincinnati and all that, like all of that is something super Moorishly special. Like, Yeah, it's obvious.
The water was how you can tell like the ships came in to Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah, with the standing on the wharf.
Yeah, standing up,
yeah, yeah.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
That was that. Then we went around. The guy who came running out the store saying he was underneath the Moorish Empire, something like that. Remember that? The dude who owned the coffee shop.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Amazite knew who he was.
Yeah. He's a something of the Moorish
Empire. Something of the something. Yeah.
European went off. Yep.
Bro, fam, that's definitely a top tier Moorish moment.
Yeah, that was the best thing. That's when I sat at the feet of Mother Rosmarie Bay. And literally, she sat in Amazite's living room in the chair. And we was sitting right on the floor, just looking up. I was in awe, man. That was one of the happiest days of my life.
Word. Y'all, I was there.
Yeah.
All peace. And I had to step out for a minute, and Cujo actually took over the camera. I remember that too. It was I just had to step downstairs, but the session was a beautiful one. Everybody was there, like all the Moors.
Yeah, that was the one. Saint Rock came to that one, right?
Saint Rock came
to that one. Everybody came to that one. That was real good.
Yeah. But yeah, shout out to Amazite for opening this situation up. Sister Energy.
Yeah, I was just thinking that's the first thing I thought about. I said, I remember.
Yeah, it was another sister. I can't remember her appellation, but I want to shout out her too, because she had a business right around the corner from the church I was talking about in East Liberty. Like it was like a real big church. But I know that looking at it correctly, that was a castle. That wasn't no church. That was a castle because they had, a burial room where there was like ashes and urns, and it was like everything was in-house, right? Like I know a castle when I see one. That was a castle, bro. They may call it a church now, but that was a castle. And that whole situation was dope. So yeah, man, I can't stress enough. I don't want to reminisce, but I do remember that. You know what I mean? And that experience was super great, fam. So I appreciate y'all. I want y'all to know that.
Honors to you, Moore.
Islam.
Indeed.
Peace and love to all the Moors. We're out here. We'll see you Saturday. Probably 1 p.m. or something.
Facts. Yo, so look, let me ask before y'all go. Is it how far are y'all away, like Yusuf, like in navigating time from the ocean?
From here to there?
Yeah.
Closest ocean. The closest ocean is probably like 30 minutes.
Okay, yo, when you get a chance, I don't know. I know it's not fully the season yet. I don't know if you've been there lately. Just see if y'all like coastline is eroding.
No. I was telling the Grand Sheik. I heard you earlier. So I had a race in Hampton Beach. It's so-called, right? So like like 2-3 weeks right before the race, the ocean had flooded the whole Ocean Drive where the race was going to be at, flooded the stores, people's homes, and everything. I thought they was going to cancel the race, but they didn't cancel the race. So when I got there, it was still levies and stuff on people's stores. Stores was closed. They just still had the race, but it was still messed up. You can still see, like, it's jacked up down here. You know what I mean? Like, but they still had the race, but it was from the ocean. The ocean had came up Like it wasn't like rain and no, the ocean had came and flooded. I was like, yo, this is crazy.
Facts.
The sea level then.
Yeah, so it's a continental thing on the coastline.
Yeah.
The Springfield's under sea level. If the ocean was coming from Boston, it will cover Springfield. Yeah, because we're under sea level.
Yeah.
That's what it's called.
Facts. And so it's looking real crazy on the note in the level of the Great Atlantic Ocean right now. But all of that was prophesized too. You know what I mean? So yeah, but it's a real thing. Like to look at pictures from even just the 90s to now and see what the beaches look like, saying a lot, bro. Back on the natural. But yeah, no, I didn't want to prolong it. I just want to put that out there. Like, yo, I know it's not just in certain areas of the coast. There's got to be a whole coastal thing. The way the beaches are being eaten up, like they're being eaten up, bro. Well, there's no beach. Like, why like see it, look at it, see if you see. You know what I mean? And but yeah, Morris, y'all appreciate y'all.
Islam, Moor.
Islam.
Honest to all the Moors who've been with Sons of Allah from the get-go. Honors to you. And honors to you, Miz. Give thanks for everything.
Yo, likewise, bro. Same to you. Same to you all. I appreciate everybody that's been tapped in from day one, like you said, and those who are still here now. We appreciate y'all. And, we're going to keep bringing it. It's just, it's a beautiful thing just to analyze and just look at these things from different perspectives. But we got a lot more to talk about, a lot more to teach about, a lot more to show and prove. So, yeah, for sure. I just want to say thank y'all. I'll be tapped in. I'll more than likely talk to y'all soon after this, or if not tonight, tomorrow. You know what I mean? And tap back in with y'all.
Yeah, boy.
Yo, y'all have a good one. I'm glad you're here, bro. Enjoy yourself.
Peace and love, Moors. And happy holy day to all the Moors.
Islam.
Have a good holy day tomorrow.
Indeed. Happy holy day, Moors, for sure. Indeed.
Islam.
Islam.